Good morning. It's Monday, September 22nd, 2025 at 10:03 a.m. I'd like to call the Walla County Board of Commissioners to order. We also have proclaiming October 2025 as Domestic Violence Action Month. And whereas domestic violence is a serious and pervasive crime affecting millions of women, men, children, and communities in the United States every year. And whereas women and girls often face interlocking and compounding social barriers such as racism, sexism, and gender-based violence, which harms their ability to thrive. And whereas violence against women affects the lives of countless families across the United States, with 1 in 4 women experiencing severe domestic violence and nearly 3 women murdered each day by their current or former partners in communities across the country. And whereas financial abuse is experienced in up to 99% of domestic violence cases and occurs across all socioeconomic, educational, and racial and ethnic groups, and whereas immigrant women, women of color, women with disabilities, and LGBTQ communities face heightened risks of violence and greater barriers to legal remedies and supportive services due to factors such as limited English proficiency and language barriers, fear of deportation, limited access to higher education and job resources, higher risks of poverty, and limited resources for access to support and affordable child care. And whereas well over half of homeless women have lost housing because of violence committed against them, and over 80% of homeless mothers have experienced severe physical and/or sexual abuse during their lifetimes. And whereas the citizens of this county will work to end the epidemic of gender-based violence and support families, now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Board of Walla County Commissioners that they recognize the importance of continuing to increase awareness of the impacts of domestic violence and do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and the third week as the annual observance of YWCA Week Without Violence in Walla County, and asked all citizens to help raise awareness about domestic violence and join in and support local efforts to end this terrible problem and assist victims of these crimes, because there is only one way to end domestic violence, that is together. Gunner Fulmer, Chairman; Todd L. Kimball, Commissioner, District 2; Bertha J. Clayton, Commissioner, District 1. Okay, and we do have somebody here that wants to talk about this. Do you want to come on up?
Thank you. My name is Stanley Green. I have been a resident of College Place for more than 32 years. In 1995, when Carol Painter processed me for intake as one of the first male clients of the domestic violence program at the YWCA of Walla County, she looked at the collection of medical reports, photographs, and police reports I brought and said, "You're one of the most well-documented clients we've ever had. We usually just take a woman's word for it." My current physical therapist said that some of the spinal rotations for which he still treats me are the result of an attack that I suffered with my partner more than 30 years ago. So I have been an activist in the field of domestic violence awareness for decades. I've been an invited presenter at universities, media organizations, and conferences across the U.S. and Canada. In the 1990s, I was invited to help the Walla County Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Coalition draft their non-discrimination policy. I served on the County Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Coalition for more than 20 years. Carol Crabson invited me in 10 different years to train advocates on gender inclusivity in addressing domestic violence and sexual assault. In this proclamation, there is one reference to LGBTQ communities, one reference to children, 0 references to boys, 0 references to fathers, 1 reference to men, 1 reference to girls, 1 reference to mothers, and 9 references to women. The statistics in hundreds of peer-reviewed journals show that the gender distribution in heterosexual domestic violence between male and female perpetrators and victims ranges from 40-60 to balanced. It's not a massive disparity. It's close to balanced within the LGBTQ community. I'm not asking you to vote against this, but I am asking that in the future you look to sources that are more inclusive in their vision and voice for addressing this issue that affects everyone. Thank you.
I'm Jan Dolph. I'm from College Place. And I just want to thank the gentleman here for bringing that up, because that's absolutely true, and we absolutely serve men as well as women. But you're right, that does sometimes get short shrift. We see more women in this situation, but that doesn't mean that there aren't men, and it doesn't mean that there aren't even worse barriers for men when it comes to seeking help. So I just like to say I appreciate that, and we will certainly look at our proclamation for next year.
Perfect.
Sounds
We
great.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate all the comments.
And Chairman Fulmer, I'm wondering if we could provide our comments.
Go ahead.
And I just, yes, I want to echo your appreciation and recognition of Mr. Green's comments. I was wondering that myself as this proclamation was being read. In my legal career, I've represented many survivors of domestic violence, including women, men, children, and I am happy that the YMCA has brought this forward to the board to issue a proclamation, because the impact of domestic violence is not just on the victims, but victims are also families and communities and systems, and getting help, breaking the cycle of domestic violence changes trajectories of entire families, entire communities. And so I'm really pleased that you're here to highlight that with your comments. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and obviously I get a chance every year to talk about this, and I lived it for 16 years as a police officer, boots on the ground in the middle of all of it, and went into people's homes daily dealing with this. And I also appreciate your comments. It's not always women, it's men. And I think the hardest part for me going home at night after seeing some of the devastation on this stuff is the looks in the kids' eyes. And it has nothing to do with the kids being abused. It's mental abuse and things that kids will never forget. So it is widespread. It is a horrible thing for families to deal with. So we are very blessed to have the YWCA in our community. I hope nobody has to find that out. That's one of those services we don't want people to use, but we absolutely need to have it in place for the ones that do need it. So thank you guys for that.